You jibber jab, bamboozle, nuka noozle, bippity bop, she-call. You jibber jab, bamboozle, nuka noozle, bippity bop, she-call. I mean, you keep on talking, but you don't know where to turn.
Welcome to the weekend. I'm Jon Caldara, president of the Independence Institute, who I took over from this guy.
It's gone downhill ever since.
Tom Tancredo, former congressman from the 6th Congressional District. Thanks you for being here with us.
Pleasure.
And occasionally when we pick up a newspaper, we read from this man, David Harsanyi, Denver Post columnist, syndicated columnist, which means you're on a blog someplace.
Basically.
How goes the syndication business?
It goes okay.
Goes okay?
Yeah. For now. We hope it's a growth industry. Yeah.
It's a growth industry. Well, I asked you're missing your job. I hear you talk about how much you miss being a congressman.
Yeah, right. You're dreaming again. It's in your dreams, because I don't miss being a congressman. I don't miss being in Washington. There are friends there, of course, that we had and made over the years, but I can see them periodically in some other place.
What's the best thing about being a congressman? Now that it's
the
over?
best thing?
All the women, free booze.
Yeah,
what?
that. Let me think. All the graft.
Graft.
I mean,
graft.
the money.
Right.
Just. Yeah, what are you going to do with it? You get to a point you're saying, like, how am I going to deposit that? They're going to ask questions.
So what was more of a pain in the ass, being a congressman or running the Independence Institute?
Being a congressman
Was more of a pain in the ass?
Listen, you got it made. Who are you trying to kid?
Yeah.
This is the softest job.
It is a pretty soft job, I'll give you that.
You go in when you want. It's your ship. You direct it any way you want. People give you money. Oh, man.
You just line up and give you money. All right, let's get to it. Arizona has a new law. The law says, basically, if I understand it, since you feds can't do your job well enough, we're going to do it. We're going to have the local police pick up people who are illegal if they don't have proof that they're citizens. That this is we're going to take you and we're going to give you to ICE. And I read everywhere on the internet that you hate this new law. And in fact, Jon Stewart on the Daily Show said, I loved it. What is it? The man. Okay, go ahead. What was it?
He said. And the man that Mexican families threaten their children with if they won't eat their vegetables, even he is opposed to this law. That's a great line.
That's a good line.
It's a funny line.
Yeah. I scare my kids with that too.
Well, maybe I get more press that way, so that's why I said it. Because,
So I saw this. I said, "There's no way Tancredo doesn't love this law. He's got to love this law. It's Tancredo-esque. It almost reminds me a little bit about the Defend Colorado initiative that you tried about 4 years ago."
Yeah, I do like the law. I'm glad they did it. What happened was I was being interviewed by a television station here in Denver, Fox 31, at my home. That day there must have been 5, because it was the day right after this thing passed. And the interviewer said, well, what about the fact that they pull people over just because they happen to be brown? And I said, well, they don't. That's not the law. I would never support a law like that. I wouldn't support it here. I wouldn't support it in Arizona.
Not in a box,
so
not with a fox.
They took that part, leaving off that very first one. That's not the law. They just took that part, somebody blogged it, and put a headline that said, Tancredo says Arizona law goes too far. And the next thing I knew, it was on Huffington Post, and the next thing I knew, it was everywhere. And so you're off chasing it forever, going, no, that's not true. I never said it. Read the whole thing, But it's.
What do you like about the law? Why is it a good idea? Why should Colorado perhaps emulate it?
Because it actually is doing something. We all know it's doing something the federal government has failed to do. It is enforcing our borders, essentially. It's enforcing our immigration law. And it is doing so in a way that's fairly effective, and you can tell how effective any measure designed to deal with illegal immigration, you can tell how effective it is because there's a direct correlation between its effectiveness and how crazy people go on the other side. The hysteria, oh my God, this is the end of the world with the Nazis and off to camps and all this crap. Well, when you say those things, you have to listen to them and go, this must be a damn good law.
Good reason. And of course, even the president says he doesn't want a world where people go around and ask you for your papers, because if we do, somebody might ask him for his papers, and he doesn't want that. So
look what illegal immigration has done to the White House.
Tell me about, let's first go with the original law. I know it's been altered a little bit. You weren't that wild about the original form of this law. Tell me why.
Well, no. Well, let me just go back. The president has no problem checking for papers, as other people have said, if they're your health care insurance papers or your papers for a million other reasons. So I didn't like it because I think that it gave too much power to the police to make the kinds of decisions I don't think they should be able to make. I understand the frustration people have
like what?
there. Well, pulling someone over and just assuming, for whatever reason, any reasonable suspicion that you might have that they're illegal immigrants, you would ask for papers from people who are legal immigrants. I don't think it's the end of the world. Jared Polis said it was like Nazi Germany. That stuff's, I think, offensive. It's just people in Arizona trying to do what the federal government should be doing and controlling the border in some way. You know, I wish there were more immigration allowed. I wish that we allowed more temporary worker permits so that people can go back and forth and wouldn't have to be here illegally. But I still think that this law now, with the revisions, they took out, what was it, solely based on what was it?
Race.
Solely based on racial, to detention, arrest, and pullovers, which I think is very similar to our law here.
So in other words, right now the law, and tell me if I've got this wrong, in Arizona, if the cops pull somebody over for a suspicion of a brake light or running a red light or any other thing that they would normally pull somebody over, and they have a suspicion that the person might be here illegally, they can say, I need to see proof that you're here, that you're a citizen or you're here legally.
Well,
is that basically the law?
Except you'll need more than that. You have to have something other than the suspicion. I mean, put it this way. Something has to happen to cause you to have suspicion that this person may not be there legally. For instance, they don't have a driver's license.
Right.
They don't speak English. Or they hand you a driver's license, the picture falls off, it's been pasted. Something has to happen that would cause reasonable suspicion that this person is here.
They pull you over and there's 20 guys in the back of the van.
Yeah.
It might be reasonable suspicion.
Suspicion.
I'm not even sure if that's reasonable.
No,
that's
actually
enough,
it's not.
Actually.
Really?
No, that
You'd
would
have to
not
break
be.
the law in some other way, and then it would have to lead to you
Yeah.
suspecting that there were illegal immigrants in the car.
Talk to me a little bit about the histrionics over this. I mean, it really hit a hot button. Was it a slow news cycle? Because it doesn't seem like this law was all that nuts.
Well, if I write a column and I mention immigration, abortion, or a few
Gun
other
control,
issues,
yeah.
you're going to get a lot of people who are very excitable.
You can thank Tancredo for all that hysteria, by the way.
I do my best.
But I think that this is just a statement. I don't think it's going to be that effective in stopping anything, frankly. But I do think that it's a statement to Washington that things there's anarchy at the border in essence, and people want some sort of order. I think that's what it is.
There was a time when Republicans actually had control of the House and the Senate and the presidency, but we didn't have any leaders on the immigration issue in Congress. So why the hell didn't you even bring up this topic? You had what,
so
8
many
years?
other important things to deal with.
If you actually focused on this issue a little bit, we could have gotten it fixed. All right, is this just a cry that the feds need to step up and do something on it? Is that all this is all about? Or do you think other states are going to follow suit?
Really, what I see the report today, something like, I don't know how many thousands, but it's in the thousands of people they have identified. They have said have already left Arizona, illegal immigrants departing. Oh, they were interviewing somebody on the television, and they said, and she couldn't speak English, but they were interpreting. She says, "Yeah, we're out. I got 6 kids. We're out of here. We're going to Colorado."
Yeah, we're going to Colorado.
That's why we better, by goodness, do this. Yeah, it is a cry for help, absolutely, but it's also, I think it could be an effective way. If nothing else, it's like every other law. It's supposed to be a deterrent. That's why you have laws, to stop people from doing things, not to catch them when they do necessarily, but hopefully to stop them from doing it.
If you steal candy bars from 7-Eleven, you'll be arrested. So that's going to
something
like
like that. Yeah.
All right.